Hi, Nick. Thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you for seeing me.
Okay, so last week we went over your rights, the consent information, confidentiality, all of that. Do you have any questions about what we talked about last time?
I don't think so. I think I'm okay.
Okay, good. So then let's get right down to it. So you talked a little bit about having problems at work a little bit, feeling stressed. Could you tell me a little bit more about why you're coming in?
Yeah, sure. I guess I should give a little background
Okay.
first to the situation. So basically, we just lost one of our only kitchen manager because he stole money from the store. So they need to find somebody to fast track to his position. And since I'm one of the people who've been there the longest who actually want to do it, they decided that was going to be me. And it's something I wanted to do, but it's going to be pretty stressful. They're pushing me through a 6-week training program in 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
So, that, and no one has said anything to me personally, but I can tell it's ruffled some feathers of some people who maybe think it should have been someone else. Because there is someone who is a kitchen manager in training right now, but they're promoting me over her. So some people aren't very happy about that.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like things are stressful at work because you're getting promoted and other people think it should have been someone else. But now that it's you, they're a little trying to adjust.
Yeah, the other person, so we have like a book that we have to have filled out. She has all of her stuff done, but according to my GM, the team, because the team is also involved in picking who's the next manager, the team apparently no longer sees her as a leader in the restaurant, so that's why they're putting me over her. But I can tell that some people are not in agreement with that decision. So that's been stressing me out a little bit at work.
I'm sorry about that. So is this affecting your life in any other way, or is it just really focused on work?
That's really focused at work. When I'm at work, I'm at work. And when I'm somewhere else, I'm usually somewhere else. I try not to dwell too much. But I mean, sometimes it does start to bug me. Especially like sometimes I'm in class and my head just goes there and I'm like, crap, these people are probably gonna hate me when I'm a manager. So a little bit, yeah.
So you mentioned right now class. So are you a student?
Yeah, so on top of working full-time, I'm a full-time grad student right now.
Oh my.
So, yeah, it's a lot. It's pretty stressful. So I'll usually work in the morning from like 8 to 4, and then I'll have class for 2.5 hours. And then usually I go home, but now that they're starting this manager training, I'm going to have to go right back and do work again.
That sounds very stressful.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah, it's a lot.
So it sounds to me like overall what you're saying is that you're getting this promotion, people, you said their feathers are kind of ruffled, that's a lot more stress, and along with that you're a full-time student, which is also a lot of work. So you have a lot of stress in different areas, even though you kind of section off. Even if there's a little bit of bleed over, you try to compartmentalize.
Yeah, I try to make sure they don't totally bleed over into each other, just to it's easier to deal with if I try and compartmentalize it, but sometimes it doesn't work and I'll just get home and I'm just stressed, it's a mess. And
okay, so can I ask you really quick, what would you like for our goals for counseling to be?
Probably stress management, at least for a part of it, learning how to deal with all the stress that's happening, maybe learning how to cope with, the negative emotions at work a little bit. I know you can't manage everyone well, because there are a lot of the people, well, not a lot, but a few people who aren't in total agreement with me being promoted are veterans who've been there for a while. So, I mean, it's hard going from being side by side on crew to being a manager, and that relationship, that boundary is hard to cross. It's a fine walk. Walk that line very finely. So probably stress management is probably one of my big goals.
Okay. So what have you been doing, or what have you done in the past that's been successful or unsuccessful for managing your stress?
Well, I used to take voice lessons. I took them for about 7 years, but I had to stop when grad school started and work because I just don't have a ton of free time. But those worked really well. Each lesson was like a mini therapy session because you're working through those emotions and expressing what you need to express through the song. So that was really nice. That definitely worked in the past.
So music kind of gives you that outlet to release that emotion that builds up.
Definitely does.
Okay. So you're no longer taking singing lessons.
No.
Do you still sing at all?
Usually on the commute to and from work, whether it's in the morning, at night. I don't have to drive to work. I usually walk to work. So they're close to each other. So that 15-20 minute, I usually try to. But that's usually about it. Or if I have some downtime in my apartment, I will, depending. But I try not to do that much so I don't annoy the crap out of my neighbor.
That's understandable. So, have you tried using your singing as a specific technique for the release of that emotion, or helping with your stress level? Like, have you planned any times before? Have you ever tried that outside of singing lessons?
I've never planned outside of taking lessons. Use it. I know it helps a little bit, but I've never specifically used it as a technique to relieve stress.
Would you be willing to maybe try that? We could work on a little bit, maybe not like a rigid schedule because I know life gets crazy, but maybe a few times a week you could have a specific time where you can just sing or listen to music, whatever helps you the most.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that's doable.
Okay. So along with that, would you be willing to try an additional technique maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so singer, you know that breathing is very important for singing. And so I'm sure that you've done a lot of practice breathing and everything. Now, specific breathing techniques can actually help with your stress levels, can help bring it down, give you time to kind of relax and not maybe focus on anything and just breathe. Would you like to try it a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, so just loosen up your muscles a little bit if you can. Try to get as comfortable as you can and just close your eyes, try to relax. Now you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it for a few seconds. Then you're going to take that deep breath back out through your mouth. And let your mind wander on anything. Just take another deep breath in and a deep breath out. And you're going to breathe deep in, like all the air is going down into your stomach. Just let your mind drift and out. Just let your muscles fall in and out. Take another deep breath in and out. And when you feel relaxed, you can open your eyes and continue breathing normally. So how was that?
That was good. That was really good.
Okay. So you can do that in short bursts or for as long as you need to. And maybe, since it sounds like you have a lot of stress built up through the day, have you started this new position yet?
Not yet. It starts next week. So I've got a little bit of time until it starts.
So maybe this is something that you could do while on the job so that all the emotion and all the stress that builds up doesn't sit on you all day before you have to go to class and then back to work. So if you'd be willing to try maybe 2 or 3 times this next week when you feel stressed during the day, if you could take a moment when you have a small break, if you do, take a deep, start doing your breathing and see if it helps. Would you be willing to try?
Yeah, I think so. I think it would help. I mean, it made me feel really relaxed here, so it probably would help process everything a little better.
Right. Okay, and then with singing, you can also try, maybe when you have time, you said that you have time on your commute?
Yeah.
So maybe a few nights a week, if you still feel that built up emotion, you can try consciously trying to sing.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me a little bit more about these problems that you're having? So you said that people are getting, you said, ruffled feathers
Yeah.
at work.
More of, the people at work who aren't in total agreement with me being promoted over the other person. They're not happy about it. They think the other person should have been promoted first.
Mhm.
Because after me, they have a whole lineup of like 2 or 3 other people who they're going to promote. I think they're also going to do that over her, but I don't know for sure. That's speculation. So, I mean, no one said anything directly to me, but I can tell that there's some discord in there.
What does discord mean to you in this?
It's hard to explain. Usually there's the tension, there's a little more tension than normal. You can just tell in the air that something's kind of not sitting right. When I work with them. And I never really know if I should address it. Maybe I shouldn't address it. Not really always 100% sure on that.
So it sounds like it's a little bit confusing about should you do something or not. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, no, that's definitely right. Because crossing that line from crew member to manager, I mean, you take on a lot more responsibilities, but your team also has to respect you and see you as a leader. Excuse me.
Oh, I'm not surprised with all that work you've been doing.
So, we're walking that boundary is a little hard. And, sorry, I totally lost my place.
No, take your time. There's no rush. We're talking about how the boundaries between co-workers and now that you're promoted and you don't know if you should address that tension that's building.
Because it's a manager, it's kind of also your role to address those things when you are a manager. So I don't know if that's something I need to be addressing right now, since technically I'm not there yet. Would it even be helpful to address that? So, yeah.
So it sounds to me, once again, correct me if I'm wrong at any time. So it sounds like not only is it confusing about should you address something or not, but you don't know if it's appropriate yet at work because you're not quite yet into that promotion stage and you don't want to make things more tense than they are, but you don't want to leave them as they are.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know if I should be doing that yet. I don't know if it would even help to do that. But, I mean, at this point, it's kind of too late. The promotion's happening. It's in the works. I've already had, my commitment date, and I had to sign something. It's happening, so.
So, let me ask you. You've talked a lot about how other people may be feeling about you and how other people do feel. And so how do you feel about your promotion?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's something I've wanted to do for a while. So I've worked for them for 3 years, and I've bounced around to different couple stores from being home and from my undergrad. But I was never in one of the other stores long enough where it would be worth it for them to dedicate training me. But I'm going to be here for a while, so it's worth it. And I'm excited about it. I know it's going to be a lot of work, but it's definitely something I've wanted to do. And they're also already talking about bumping me up to the next management level after this one, because we have to have that, what they call a pipeline for promotions. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm going to learn a lot.
Well, it sounds like a great experience. I'm very happy for you.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's try to see if we can help you feel a little better about the other stuff so you can be excited about your promotion.
Okay.
So we get into more of the coping and stress management. Is there mentioned how your coworkers have been feeling and how they might be feeling and how you've been feeling? Is there anyone else in your life that's giving you some feedback on this?
My mom and my dad. I called my mom to tell her, and because I don't know if they knew exactly
Mhm.
how much I wanted to do this, but literally when I told her, her reaction was, well, if that's what you want to do, which was kind of really upsetting because I wouldn't do it if it wasn't important to me.
Mhm.
And like, there was no congratulations, well, I'm excited for you. It was just like, well, if that's what you want to do.
So once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you were looking for support and maybe some shared excitement about it, and you kind of got a lukewarm response.
Yeah, and I think her main reason for it might have just been that the focus was being drawn away from school, which is understandable, because that is important, obviously, but it's still something that's important to me. I feel like she should have known that, but she didn't, so that was frustrating, and it made me angry.
I can imagine it make you very frustrated and very upset, because you're looking for that support system, you're looking for that, and even though school's important, your job's important too, and it sounds like it's been something that you've been really hoping for. Now that you've got it, it's like, so where's that shared happiness? And it kind of just fizzled a little bit.
Yeah, it fizzled. And then later that night, my dad called me, and we were talking about it, and the moment he said, well, clearly it sounds like it's important to you, I was like, yes, this is what I wanted from Mom, but she didn't. So that was nice to have that validation from him about that, because he's a workaholic. He runs his own company, he's the only person in it, so he does everything. So we're like in that way. So he understood, which was nice, but it would have been nice if my mom had been on the same page.
Been able to like understand and have that connection. I understand that. It looks like we're running out of time. So before we wrap up, I would just like to kind of recap what we talked about today. So we talked about how your job, you're getting this promotion and you're getting promoted over someone else, and it's kind of ruffling the feathers or upsetting some of their people, some of your coworkers who they think should not have been you being promoted, even though you're very excited about this promotion and it's something that you've wanted. This is causing some discord, you said, and some tension that you're not sure whether you should address or not. And you have additional stress because you're also a full-time student. So our goals for counseling are going to be working on helping your coping skills, stress management. So before we go, I would just like to ask you if you have any feedback for me, anything good or bad, if I got anything wrong or right, just anything.
I think you did a really good job understanding where I was coming from and what I was trying to say, because I couldn't always come up with the right words. I thought you did a good job.
Anything that you think I should improve on or change? Because I'm only here to help you. So anything, don't be afraid to say anything.
Nothing is coming to mind. I liked the coping skills and how the breathing relates to the singing and how they're intertwined. So I thought that was really good.
Okay. Well, then next session we'll pick up where we are going to leave off, and we'll talk a little bit more about see how the coping skills and stress management, the breathing and singing, how it implemented in this next week.
Okay.
And this next week is your first week?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll really see how that goes, and if those don't work, then we'll try something different.
Okay.
So thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.